Doc Rivers. It's your boy Alpha Zame. You know what? You know how we do it. This what happened with you can't happen. You can't go onto the literal locker room and tell people that yes, you took teams that had no business being in the championship and put them in the championship to check your resume. Last time I checked, you had 3 Hall of Famers on your team, possibly 4 with Rondo. You had a decent center who was big and strong in terms of our guy, Kendrick Perkins. You had a good bench. You had everything you needed. You had all the weapons. Yet you have the nerve, the unmitigated gall, as Stephen A. Smith would say, to tell us to check your resume because you took team championship that shouldn't have been there. This is what he literally is telling people. He is saying he took championship teams that wasn't supposed to be there. There is no world that KG, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen is not supposed to be in the championship. There is no world where any of your teams should not be in the playoffs. There's no place on this planet for this because it doesn't exist. Tracy McGrady, Grant here, I give you that you was injured. I get it that they were injured. I know they were injured, and I understand that. But at the same time, to sit here and tell us that those teams weren't supposed to, y'all was the higher seed when you lost 3-1. Okay, let's go for your other team. You had Embiid, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, a great team that was a top seed. Somehow you still magically didn't win. You had Lob City with Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, but somehow you didn't win. You had Houston with James Harden and Dwight Howard and all these. You had multiple teams. And I might even be adding people, 2 teams, and Josh Smith and all that. But every time you seem to blame them, just like I thought I could do it with this team. You're blaming this team when Giannis out. You are not that guy, pal. You are not that guy. I'm here to just tell you, you're not that guy. I don't know who told him that somehow to Google you. Yes, I Googled you. Every team you've been on that made the playoffs was supposed to be there. Y'all was mostly the higher seed. You have had, from what I read, you are one of the top 5 coaches in coaching the most Hall of Famers or future Hall of Famers. Because you're gonna get Chris Paul, you're gonna get you might get Josh Smith, you're probably gonna end up getting Rondo sooner or later. You got Ray Allen, KG, Paul Pierce. How many Hall of Famers do you need? Maybe you get a Blake Griffin. You might have so many Hall of Famers that you coached. But somehow you want us to believe, you want us all to believe that somehow you, Doc Glenn Rivers, took teams. This is the one I had the offense with, right? I took a team that wasn't supposed to be there. That's my offense. That's my offense to this. And the bigger offense is championship, because I don't know what team you took that wasn't supposed to win no championship, because you only been there, what, 2? What team? What team did you take to the championship? I need to know. I want to know right now. What team did Doc Rivers take to the championship? Because I don't know. The 2 years they went, it was supposed to be done. What was LeBron supposed to stop you? A young LeBron? To be fair, he did stop you at the end of the day. He beat you. So he did stop you. The attitude you had to the people. And it's the same thing JJ was saying, by the way. It's the same thing. Some reason it's always the team's fault and not yours. You have lost the most 3-1 leads of any coach. You've had multiple. Not only have you had multiple 3-1 lead losses, you end up I think you're up there in 2-2 or even 3-2. Because somehow you seem to just constantly lose games you're supposed to win. To the point that a legend in Phil Jackson literally stated that, oh, Doc Rivers don't make second half adjustments. Oh, we down, but they got Doc Rivers. All these things consistently done over and over again. Doc, who told you was like that? Listen, I'm even give you credit because I'm known as a Doc River hater because I think you're very overrated. Not that you're bad. I think they just put you on the list. I don't know how you keep getting jobs. I really don't. I don't know how Doc Rivers keep getting jobs. I don't understand this. I can't figure it out. He's just like Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher didn't have a winning season without Steve McNair. Doc Rivers has, I don't even think it's been a time he hasn't coached a future Hall of Famer. I have to go look, but I don't think it's a time when Doc Rivers has not coached a future Hall of Fame. Do you know how concerning that is? And for him to have that nerve to tell a team that I have taken teams. Well, you can correct me in the comments if it is some years, but he probably didn't make the playoffs some year because he choked with the good teams. So I don't know how he made the playoffs then. And I'm not even saying he's a bad coach. I'm saying he don't make adjustments, and when he down and when somebody figure him out, he kind of choke. That's what he does. That's who Doc Rivers is. Not that he can't game plan, not that he can't develop or whatever. Steve Kerr can't develop. Doc Rivers, literally, I mean literally, can't make up. He can't make it. He can't make up anytime somebody figures him out. So to go and tell a team that was better before you got there, Adrian Griffin had the Bucks as a second seed before you got there, and to ruin all their work, you almost got to be the All-Star game head coach because Adrian Griffin's job was lost. He was a second seed. And you came into that same team and somehow it got worse. But you are telling them, all of a sudden you can't get the job done. That they can't get the job done. You have check your resume. I'm gonna let my guy come in. He gonna come in and talk about this, and then I'm gonna go on my Jalen Hurts rant. Then we gonna get into the show. Monterey. Shout out to Murray. All right, I have just went out. I just yelled at Doc Rivers about 7 minutes. Any thoughts on Doc Rivers? They can't see you on the main show, but oh no, Jalen Hurts next. I'm gonna pull y'all down. Then I'm gonna go on a 9-minute round. Jalen Hurts. We just taking turn.
It doesn't instill faith in you to say that, oh, like I trust my coach, he's a good man, or whatever. When he's like, hey, go look at my resume before you question me or something of that nature. That's like I'm sitting here at work, and the brand new manager came in. He's like, hey, go check the other restaurants I work with before you question me, not just your body of work while you've been here. Just go look at what I did. Like, yes, that basically seems like it's what you say when you run out of other things.
Listen, Doc, that's asinine. I went through the whole resume. The Orlando teams, the Houston teams, the Philly team. I'm still trying to figure out. Maybe you can help me since he's here. What team did he have that he took to the playoffs that wasn't supposed to be there, Murray?
That wasn't supposed to be there?
Yeah, he said he took teams that wasn't supposed to be there. It's championship teams. That's asinine. I'm not even gonna talk about that. But what team took to the playoffs that wasn't supposed to be there? Orlando had Tracy McGrady. I think they was like what, a 2-3. I give credit for them getting hurt though, but still, they was up 3-1.
I mean, if you want to try to count, it's just me. I'm like looking just on like the outside, not really going in depth of the teams. You can tell me about the teams. If you want to maybe count some of the early Celtics teams, when Paul Pierce was by himself.
Andrew Walker was on them team.
I was just saying, like, the only ones that make sense from that would be like some of the Boston Celtics, because he was there from 04 to 13, so that's 9 years. So he was there for some of the earlier ones. So you might could try that. Or, like I said, some of the Orlando Magic ones that not kind of Shaq year or something, but just make them the only
two years with Penny. Penny got hurt. Like I said, in the playoffs, I give him a little grace because they did get hurt in the playoffs.
Them the only two.
But he said he took team that wasn't supposed to go to the playoffs. They went to the playoffs.
I mean, because the Clippers, no, I ain't gonna count that because that's with a Lob City, wasn't it? Like,
yeah, Lob City.
That was Lob City. So, of course, they were supposed to be there, unless you want to count. Like, I don't know if there were years with Lob City. Like, maybe, because he went from Lob City to
Houston.
There also, he went from Lob City to, like, the times where.
What was it, like, Houston first, and then then Philadelphia.
He didn't coach them during the bubble, did he? That wasn't his year, was it?
I don't think so.
No, I think that was the year after he left, though. So it wasn't he up to the bubble year. So he had 7 years with the Clippers, but every time Chris Paul was there, they were supposed to make the playoffs. So that wasn't accurate. Like I think he might be talking about the early Boston teams. And the only ones I can think of.
Y'all let me know in the comments what team he said they wasn't supposed to make the playoffs. I'm saying that's bull even with that because Antoine Walker and Paul Pierce together as a dynamic duo.
But I would really think it got to be like 04 to 07. Because, you
Yep.
know, 07, 08, that was when, you know, the big three came together, you won a championship. So I would think it would have to be like 04 to 07. Like those years would probably be the main ones he talked about. But no, Orlando Magic, he won Coach of the Year. Like I said, maybe 2000, like when we won Coach of the Year that year. Maybe. Like, that's the only one I can think of.
Well, I'm not even gonna ask you what championship team he took that wasn't supposed to make it because I don't know what he talking about. But I guess he was just mad or something. But Doc, I need you to check your ego, sir. You took a team that was better without you and made it worse. So you need to calm down, simmer down. Giannis will hurt. I'll give you a little grief. I give you a little bit. Giannis was hurt. But we got another person. You shout out to Unico Williams. Yeah, Unico, right now I'm on my rant about Doc. And then I'm gonna get on my rant about Jalen Hurts. So your thoughts on Doc Rivers, Unico?
No, let's go. One.
All right, win. It's Jalen Hurts time. So if y'all want to watch the full podcast and see these lovely guys' faces, go check out the podcast. But for my individual video, you'll hear them in the background as I rant. So make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell.